Hello, I'm Ross Hampton. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Australian Forest Products Association, and I am a tree hugger, absolutely. And I'll tell you what else, all of those people who are members of our association, the people who plant trees, the people who harvest them, the people who turn them into wood and paper products, they're all tree huggers too. If you feel a bit challenged by that, just give me about 90 seconds to see if I can persuade you. I think we all agree that this is one of environment's great miracles, isn't it? A tree planted like this about 30 years ago, while we were still children, many of us, delivers all sorts of things to us as a community. We've got obviously shade, we've got biodiversity, we've got, in this particular case, the opportunity to four-wheel drive, cycle, walk. And one of the best things is that while it's growing, it's also sucking in carbon. A tree is a carbon store. It's great for the planet. And here's the thing though, if you zoom out a little bit, as you can see, this isn't a single tree. This is a tree that's part of a line of trees. This tree has been put here by the industry for harvest, for use in our homes and our schools and our offices. And that's where the story gets really interesting from an environmental angle. Because when this tree is cut down, that's not something bad that's happening for the environment. What's happening then is that the tree cut down is turned into all of those things that store carbon, all the things we use in our daily lives. It's like if you have a gold brick and you divide it into small gold coins, you've still got all the gold. So the carbon that we've stored in the tree gets stored in all the products we use every day. And after that, this is the most wonderful thing that happens. Because we've got a sustainable, carefully operated industry in Australia, someone comes and replants in this position. They put another tree in. And you'll probably be surprised just how much of that goes on each year. If I asked you, how many trees do you think the Australian industry plants each year? You might hazard a guess at a few 100,000, maybe 1 million. The figure is actually about 40 million trees every year planted around Australia by our industry. And then if we include in that all of the sowing and regeneration that goes on in the areas of naturally regrowing forest where the harvesting takes place, well, the number of trees would be somewhere around 60 million a year. 60 million trees growing every year across Australia. So that's the great environmental story I wanted to share with you. The best thing about our forest industry is not only do they plant the trees and look after them, keep them thinned to let the light in, keep the pests away, keep the bushfires out as best they can, but they also replant each year. So we have a sustainable industry in Australia. Do you know the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the world's scientists that advise the UN on climate change, they agree about what I'm saying here. They agree that a carefully managed, sustainably harvested forest area where the timber is then stored, the carbon is stored in products we use, is the very best thing we can do for climate change. So yes, my message today is if you want to feel good, plant a tree. But if you want to feel great, plant a tree and support the Australian industry that also then harvests that tree and replants down the track. 80,000 Australians who work mostly in regional Australia would certainly thank you, and you'd be part and supporting part of a great environmental story.